A big day in the Amped household today, Maxwell.
Huge one.
One of your favourite bands of all time?
Absolutely, they're a band that I think they've occupied the top spot from time to time. So, yes, in short, one of the greats.
It's exciting, and I should say hello to everyone listening first of all.
Hi.
But yeah, you've been excited about this chat for a while, and I'm glad that we're finally hitting publish on it.
I also want to give a very big content warning up top for a pretty graphic personal story. If you are uncomfortable with like blood and gore, probably skip a couple of minutes in.
We should probably also mention who we're talking to.
That's also probably a good shout actually. Yeah, the Wombats. We're chatting with Dan from the Wombats, who we quickly discovered could be my dad.
Yeah, it could be your dad. You did share quite a graphic story that he did remember, which is both wholesome and terrifying at the same time.
There certainly was a hole.
I was just on the sidelines watching a family reunion unfold. It was beautiful in so many
in the
ways.
most graphic way.
Yeah, and Dan was up for a chat, which is great.
Yeah.
But should we waste no more time?
Let's just get into it.
Maxie, David Draymond would be bloody proud of you. You're down with the sickness today, but it's an exciting... Oh, you're right, you just coughed off camera. But it's an exciting day. We're joined by one of your favourites, I'd say. You talk about this band all the time, and I'm just going to shut up now because we're joined by Dan from the Wombats. Mate, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sam, you've made me look cool. You've made me look really cool and chill. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've done you a service there. We were saying off air, Dan, that you might actually be Max's dad.
Yes, correct. So yeah, my tour nickname is Higgins because people always get my surname wrong. So Haggis is an unbelievable surname by the sounds of things, according to all the hotel receptionists in the world. So I get Harris, Hoggins, Hages, all sorts of different ones, but Higgins seems to be the one that comes up the most often. If there was like a lottery and you put your money on, you'd put money on Higgins every time I check in. Yeah, Daniel Higgins at your service.
Look, you went out for cigarettes 25 years ago. It's good to finally catch back up after all these years.
Well, it's interesting that we bring up family ties because, Dan, I don't know if you know or remember this, but you and Max have once met before.
This
This
is
just
quite
going to handball him straight under the bus here.
This is quite the bus to be thrown under.
Is this but it's linked with family?
No, it's not linked with family. It's just a way for me to segue Max under the bus because you guys have met before, and I'm going to let Max tell this story.
So this is deep cut Max Higgins lore. About 12 years ago, about 13 years ago, 2012-ish, you guys were doing a show on Triple J with the Doctor, and they were asking for some like weird stories for people to like call in, tell weird stories, and basically like, come on air to talk about it. Also, apologies in advance. This story's kind of fucked up. And I messaged in talking about how one time when I was a teenager, I accidentally, in a really unfortunate accident, tore my ballsack open on a coat hanger.
Oh, fuck, I remember hearing that. Go on.
And I got invited to come down to the show. I was sitting next to you at the desk with the Doctor, and I remember telling the story, and you just looking at me with this look in your eye of like, this is fucked. Why am I having to hear this?
Oh man, that is how did you actually rip the old sack open?
I'll try and keep it short, but basically, I mean, don't have to keep it short. It's already short, but I was like going from my
before after the scar tissue, I'm sure.
It's got a distinctive, design now, but it's I was going from my bedroom to the bathroom, and there was like some ironing, like washing that was hanging over the back of a chair, and it kind of just like the coat hanger was sticking out a bit too far, and it kind of just caught. And look, it's graphic. Sorry, listeners, that's pretty full on. I had to do some tucking and some stuff and some bandaging, but didn't go to hospital. No good. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, glad you've survived to tell the tale because it's a good one.
I mean, apologies for listeners who don't know. It's early in the morning for Dan. I'm sorry that's what you had to wake up to. So,
yeah.
Oh no, I love it. Perfect.
Well, enough with. I feel like we've done the intros where.
Where do we go from your torn ball sack?
Well, I mean, let's go to the next most obvious place. Let's chat the Wombats, hey?
Yeah. I was about to say we'll talk about music now. I just wanted to get everyone familiar and just we're best friends now, so we'll roll into it. But we have an album to talk about. We've got a tour to talk about, but we do start the show the same way every week, Dan, and that is to get an idea of what you're spinning in your playlist as of late.
What have I been listening to recently? I've actually been really liking, Turnstile.
Yep. Big album.
Yeah, been really enjoying that. Feels very unique, and a nice blending of multiple kind of genres in a way that's like very new. And so I've been liking that. BC Camplight's new album. He's not that well known, but he's based in Manchester, records in Liverpool, in the same studio that we've actually recorded at a bunch of times. And he's just really creative, off the wall, kind of bit nuts, singer-songwriter kind of stuff. But yeah, very interesting and cinematic. So yeah, I'll go for those two.
Let's I suppose get into the meat and potatoes, if you will. Excuse the pun, but the Wombats, you guys dropped "Oh the Ocean" earlier this year in February. It's been spinning now in playlists for about 6 months. How do you feel that the fans have like received the album now that it's had a bit of a chance to breathe?
Yeah, it's been awesome actually. And I guess we've been touring so much this year that like the place that we notice it most is at the shows. So, and it's become quite a seamless kind of, part of the set. Whereas when you first start playing new songs, it's definitely like you play songs people know and it's like loads of energy, woohoo, dancing. And then you play a new song and it's like, what's this? Is this... Who's changed the playlist, kind of that reaction sometimes. But now it's kind of like you can just see it. It flows one to the next. And whether it's from our first album or this album, obviously there's slight differences, but it's like people know the songs and our fans at least seem to be really into it. So really happy.
Murph's lyrics have always sort of felt so personal, and the way that he uses, obviously real events to kind of craft this imagery in his lyric writing. You guys all, over the last couple of albums or the last couple of years have moved to different parts of the world, and you kind of have to come together when you want to collab as the Wombats. Is there a kind of a process to get you all on the same page, like emotionally and thematically, when you have to sit down to like record these songs and figure out how to bring the lyrics that Murph's talking about to life with the music?
I guess like we always, before we're doing either a writing session or recording, there'll be a lot of coffee drinking and a lot of like sort of chatting and catching up. And, you sort of, I guess you see where you are, what's going on in your life. And more often than not, I guess that does kind of, it often feeds into whatever song we're working on at the time. Murph's also got like a notes section in his phone with like loads of sort of, I guess, concepts and like things that maybe he wants to, things that have happened or things he's noticed or whatever that he kind of like, this is a world I want to try and, get to grips with or whatever. And so when we, like, actually one of the songs we made for the latest album, we made it in Australia, started it in Perth in a studio there, and then finished it in a studio in Sydney. And again, it was kind of like, when we started jamming, I was actually playing guitar, Todd was on drums, and Murph was on bass, and we started the song, and it was Blood on the Hospital Floor, but we didn't we had the intro riff and like what we felt was kind of the start of the song, and then Murph was looking through his phone, he was like, oh, Blood on the Hospital Floor, kind of, and we were like, oh, that's a really like striking image, and conjures up straight away just that phrase. It's like, well, blood is supposed to be on the hospital floor, so even though it's a bad thing, it's kind of a good thing, perspective, blah, blah, blah. It just felt like it snowballed and then felt, so Murph's awesome at like getting images and situations and all the rest of it and like throwing a little twist on it and making you kind of, think something slightly different maybe than you did before.
I mean, if we can talk a little bit on the Wombat sound, I mean, first of all, congratulations, because Glitterbug just turned 10 this year. So happy decade birthday. That was a weird turn. But it's a record that feels, or it felt like the band wanted to try their hand in just about every sort of genre you could, and you did it really well. But has that process for demoing and experimentation changed between then and the more recent albums?
I guess this latest album, because it was very much John Congleton, who we worked with for the first time as the Wombats. He really wanted us to like go in the room and capture like what we were doing in the moment, very much like have a sound kind of for the whole album almost. And whereas I feel like Glitterbug does have a sound, but as you say, I feel like there's a lot more genre hopping like within. But then I feel like we've kind of always done that, to be honest. Like even our first album, like Little Miss Pipe Dream, doesn't make any sense on that album almost, but we always loved like we all love so much different types of music that it never felt like a step too far to do something like that. You know, which, and again, like, but then I feel like we often think that something's way more different in our mind than it actually ends up sounding. Like you're playing a new song that for me is just like nothing we've ever done, and people are like, "Ha, classic Wombat sound that," ha, you know, and you're like, "What? Classic Wombat? This is," and you know. So we are the way we hear our own music, I think, is probably very different to everyone else. But yeah, I think this latest album's got it doesn't feel like it hops around as much genre wise because it feels like it's its own sound. Like from all the demos, if they'd have sounded like they did, a bit more kind of like, you know, higgledy-piggledy done in different times and different places and all the rest of it, I think that would have sounded more like a genre hopping, slightly you know, schizophrenic album. Whereas John, you know, John really wanted it to like, he was like, I don't care about the demos, I don't even want to listen to them if I can avoid it, and let's just go in there and just play the songs, mess around with things, do whatever you want, kind of like and embrace the mistakes and all the rest of it. So it ended up sounding quite different to the demos, which was fun for us as an experience, to be honest.
I mean, when you are just in those rooms playing the songs, it always feels like on your releases, there's these little nuances and these tiny moments that have, you know, tight harmonies or quick fire little melodic runs or sort of these layered samples sometimes. How do you guys find the perfect balance when you're writing a song without overfilling a track with those little nuances?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Are you a musician?
I know one.
Yeah.
He plays one on TV.
Yeah.
That's I've never been asked that. It's such a good question because that is the constant battle, to be honest. Because I feel like as musicians and you know, just creatives in the studio in general, whether you're the producer or a band member or whatever, you get really excited by little thing. You know, you're like, oh, we could do this here and we could do this here and let's try. You know, I'll often go off to another room and like do loads of harmonies and stuff, and then come back in kind of like, you know, what do you think, guys? And sometimes it'll be like, you know, oh yeah, awesome. And sometimes it'll be like, I don't think we need harmonies in that bit, do we? Let's just save it. But you know, and then you kind of like walk off with your tail between your legs. And I'm only just, you know, often I think also like the good thing with being in a band where we've known each other for so long, we give each other the freedom to experiment and mess around with those things and see if they work. And if they don't work, then doesn't matter. You've got to have thick skin and kind of just go, yeah, cool, I tried it. And actually, you know what? The process is the fun part anyway. So I had a great time I spent hours making these Beach Boys harmonies that I thought were the best thing ever. But then you come in and it's like, nah, we're binning that off. We don't need it. And you're like, oh, well. And you've just got to shrug it off and move on to the next one. And, you know, then Todd will go off and make some weird synth sound that like he thinks is the best thing ever and come back in. And it's like, yeah, no, it's better to just have space at that point. And so we you know, and the same for Murph. There's loads of moments where this happens all the time. And it's part of the process, and you've just got to kind of go with it and hope that it gets to a place where you all kind of feel like, you know what, yeah, this is pushing and pulling in the right place. And I remember like, what song was that? I think it was Turn, actually. Todd added like what's it called? It's like an arpeggiator thing, a little instrument that you go like, and you do these runs and they sound really magical and cool. And Todd had done a few extra places with it, and he ended up, it was only happening in like 2 places, which was a bit of a compromise between not having it at all and, you know, and actually it's all the better for it. And I think anyone who was even, oh, do we need that in there? Afterwards, it'd be like, oh no, I'm really glad we kept it because it is an extra special moment at a place. So sometimes those little layers and those details can really end up being like a great part of a song or a production. But at the same time, I think we over analyze them and definitely think that more people are going to notice them than actually do. You know, because if you like, listen to this bit, listen to, what? I can't even hear what you're talking about. Oh no, there's like a little mandolin really quietly just doing that, you know.
It's important to you though.
It means the world to people who've done it in the moment. Because you've got memories around like literally one little 5-second moment in a song that no one else has. It's like your own little, you know, sort of treasure hidden within the song that no one else will ever know, and it's almost better for that reason. No one's going to hear that, and you're like, that doesn't matter. I will.
I know it's there.
Yeah. That's for you. You put on the record when you get home. You're like, ooh, this is my bit.
Yeah.
We've got an eye on the time, but before we get to the end of the show, you guys are heading down under for a couple of shows. Well, a fair few shows, you know, in just a couple of weeks from the time that we're chatting. It looks like, I mean, you guys have been to probably more of Australia than most Australian bands, but it looks like there's a couple of spots that you may not have been to before. Are you keen to check out hotspots in Torquay and Lake Macquarie and the sunny coast? Have you been to those parts of the country before?
I'm not sure where they are, to be honest, so I'm really excited. When you say this, is that the Sunshine Coast?
Yes.
We've been there before. I think we played there last year. Is that near Newcastle?
No, that's the Central Coast. Sunshine Coast is just north of Brizzy.
Oh, right. Okay. Maybe I haven't. I'm not sure if I've been there then.
If it makes you feel any better, I couldn't tell you where Lake Macquarie is either. So,
no.
It's a big place.
I'm going to guess that near Sydney.
Yeah, not far, to be honest. Near Gosford.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now, honestly, like for us to travel to Australia in general is just like, obviously, we're so lucky when we come over there. Like it's such a great place. We love it. And to go to new places is, it's kind of like one of the things that, you know, we're all keen travelers as well. Like we love going to new places, whether you're a musician or not. Like, so to actually getting to go and see these places is, it's awesome.
Are there any Australian like haunts that you always try and see when you come down here? Because you guys do frequent Australian soils a little bit. Are there any, you know, always a little spot that you go to check out?
Yeah, I guess there's like certain brunch spots, or like the occasional whiskey bar, and there's a place in Adelaide, I can't remember. It does like it's an amazing like Asian fusion place on a little tiny street somewhere. Absolutely, you know, got certain places that I couldn't tell you the names, but I know where they are, so we just head to those areas, and you know that there's just like loads of great restaurants in the areas, and it's awesome. So yeah, we do have our little favorite haunts, for sure.
Well, one final question before we wrap up for the day. But you've said before that playing songs, the faster songs like Kill the Director in those live sets can absolutely destroy your arms and your legs. Are there any other tracks that you kind of want to remove from the playlist, or some that you might want to sneak back in to replace?
Well, yeah, like when we do an hour set, we've been doing at festivals this summer quite a lot. There was like a run of songs in the middle, and honestly, I feel like I've been trying to keep in shape, going to the gym and stuff, because I know how bad it is. And I've got these new like stretchy mountain climber like grip improvers. I don't know if you've seen them. They're like, you do them the other way. Yeah, they've really helped with my RSI. Like it's gone. It's amazing. So any drummers out there who have problems with the forearms, get them. It's been life changing. So I've been doing all my exercises, trying to stay. But then we've got, I think it goes like Tokyo, Blood on the Hospital Floor, Kill the Director, and If You Ever Leave, I'm Coming With You. And those 4 songs are like all really fast. 3 of them, I think, have got some moments of 16s, and Blood's just like, you know, fast 8s like the whole time. And honestly, by the end of that, I am just puffing, absolutely puffing. And my thumbs are like cramping up and stuff. And but try and hide it, obviously, because you want to make it look quite effortless. But yeah, but at the same time, I kind of, when you go to the gym and you do like a really tough slog, there's something like really, I don't know, something really nice about getting to the end of it, isn't there? That is addictive as well. So if it was too easy, I think I'd probably make it harder for myself because I like that feeling of like, oh, that was a struggle. I need a massage tomorrow. Oh, so
It's a dopamine release.
it's a proper dope. Yeah, it's a real good like dopamine. I'm addicted to that for sure. Yeah. More fast songs.
Double them up. Just go play them through again. You'll be fine.
Sped up versions. Have you seen that on? Like, I've seen people.
It's a big TikTok thing.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it, and I saw it recently. It was like sped up version of this, sped up version of that. I was like, oh wow. I mean, so maybe there's something in that for the Wombats, like just a sped up set.
Just a few blasties.
Yeah.
Let's start the pit. Let's get the circle pit going at the front. Revisit Oh the Ocean, the latest album from the Wombats from earlier this year, wherever you get your music. Catch them live across Australia with spots at the Somersault Festival Series, as well as headline shows in Adelaide, Melbourne, Brisbane, the Sunny Coast, Wollongong, and Sydney between September 20th and October 4th. Head to thewombats.co.uk to get more info and links to tickets. Dan, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat to us today.
Oh, thanks for having me.